actually really want to learn Honda. Sam has been trying to get me to play Honda because the thing about me is I think sumo wrestlers. Let me back up for a second. You guys know there aren't that many Honda players. Like if you actually try to get Honda practice, like if you like sit down and go, I want to practice the Honda matchup. There aren't that many Honda players. I think the thing about Honda is people don't think sumo wrestlers look that cool. I have a unique strength, which is that I think the sumo wrestler archetype is actually cool. I think I'm very much in the minority when it comes to this. I have a story here. When my parents came over, when they visited a couple months ago, they actually visited when me and Karen got legally married, when we went to City Hall to get legally married. We wanted them to have something to do during the day because they were staying with us in our condo. And so we got Apple TV. And Apple TV has a thing where you can watch, not live, I think it's like a day, it's like the replays, it's like the VODs, but it's like you can watch an ongoing sumo tournament. And the way sumo tournaments work, I think it's like Swiss or round robin, not round robin, because it's like 30 people in the pool. I think it's Swiss. And sumo rounds are like 20 seconds long. Like Leffen would hate sumo, right? You can't, they do best of one. That goes instantly. It's a very high damage game, let's put it that way. And the commentary, like there's like English commentary, and it's just amazing. And you get to see the statistics of the players, and like sometimes you'll actually see a guy who's like 250 pounds beat a guy who's like 350 pounds with like their technique. It's actually really sick when that happens. You're like, holy how did he do that? In boxing and shit, there's weight classes. Sumo, there's no weight classes. You could just get big. And you went to day 2 of Sumo tournament. I'm the most jealous of anybody I've ever been. I've one of my, like, it's like literally a bucket list. I've been to Japan like 20 times. I've never been to a sumo tournament. I want to go so bad. My dad like served in the Vietnam War. My dad was in the Navy for 20 years, and he's like an old timer, right? My dad's an old head. My dad tells me because he was stationed in Yokosuka for like 4 years, and he went to sumo tournaments. He got like invited, and he'd sit in the front because my dad was like kind of a big deal, I guess. So he'd like sit in the front, and he says it's like a really good time. To wrap this point up, I think sumo wrestlers look cool. So I have the unique strength of I would get to play Honda and have fun dunking on with Honda, but also simultaneously actually think sumo wrestlers look cool instead of thinking, oh, my character's ugly or whatever people think. When the wrestlers bow, do they make sure to, I don't know, but he sat in the front. I don't think you want to sit in the front though, because okay, I was watching sumo on the Apple TV. What's up, Yokai Nels? Good to see you again. Thank you for the 28. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. This one he shoved the one Rikishi, he shoved the other dude, and he shoved him so hard that he felt there was like an old guy in the front who I think was like a big deal in some way, shape, or form, because he was sitting up in front. He pushed this 400-pound dude onto this old guy. I was like, that guy's dead. He was fine. He was totally fine. I think he like kind of tanked it. He absorbed it in such a way, but I'm like, bro, I don't want to sit in front because that can happen to you. You're sitting on the ground. Dude, it's fucking sick. Do you guys know how it works? Like, you also get money for every round you win. The way the system works is they got a really intricate ranking system. We should do this for Melee. The way it works is like here. I'm going to look up the Wikipedia articles. I looked it up a while ago. Sumo wrestler ranks. There's a really sick Wikipedia article. The way it works is in Makunochi, which is the highest like division. And the way that prizing works for the rounds in sumo is you take like based on what your rank is and what your opponent's rank is. That's how big the pot is for that round. So if an Ozeki steps up, if you beat Takakeisho because he's an Ozeki, the second highest rank, there's like 2 of them, you get a fat purse for the match. And if he beats anyone, he gets a fat purse. So you're hella incentivized to climb the ranks because every match you're a part of, there's a fat purse. So it's just a huge deal. Like I think it's like Melee, where basically the top guys make so much more money than the guys that are, it's like an exponential curve. And so you're also really incentivized to beat the Ozeki, or especially to beat the Yokozuna, because it's like there's so much more money in the line. You could see it too. Like the envelopes were just way thicker. I wish we could do something like this in Melee. I don't know how the we would do it, but like, in Melee, there's always this talk about like, when you're the best, you don't have enough incentive, to defend your throne and stuff like that, right? Because it's like there's nowhere to go but down. But in sumo, it's like they got it all figured out. They're like, well, if you're cracked, if you're one of the fucking best in the world, every match you participate in has a bigger purse. It doesn't matter if you get upset or you're just defending your title. You just get way more money when you meet with anyone in the ring. And so even though they can derank, they're heavily just monetarily incentivized. And I think there's, obviously there's a lot of pride and stuff like that too. You're heavily incentivized to wrestle and to beat people. You get fat stacks just defending your title. You don't need to move up. You can just wrestle the Maigashiras and the Jurios and just be you know, be chilling. Do real sumo wrestlers do stuff that looks like 100 hand slap? Out of Honda's kit, that seemed the least sumo-like. I've got 2 moves in Honda's kit that are even less sumo-like than 100 hand slap. Headbutt and butt slam. They really don't do those. So apparently, if you actually raid the Street Fighter 6 lore, if you play story mode or whatever, I don't know this because I haven't played story mode. I'm kind of saving it for stream. I'll probably get to it like after Evo. They finally have justified this because like for the longest time, for 30 years, it's like, what the f is Honda's deal? He's a sumo wrestler, but he like flies at you with this torpedo headbutt thing that humans can't do. And apparently in Street Fighter 6, his whole motivation or whatever, like his thing is he's trying to innovate sumo. He's trying to show off a new type of sumo, and he responds to the haters on social media by saying like, I'm pioneering a new type of sumo, and I want to prove that my innovations to sumo are just as legitimate as what all the other sumo wrestlers are doing and have been doing forever. And that's why he jumps in the air and does butt slams and headbutts at his opponents. They finally justified it in the story, which is f***ing funny. They didn't have to say anything.